Two presidents met on the debate stage at a moment of crossroads for our country. Both former President Trump and President Joe Biden presenting two very different visions for the future of our country. Let's get right to the biggest moments tonight. And we've got to start right here. Some voters have expressed concern about President Biden's age and his ability to keep focus. Tonight, at times, the president seemed to lose his train of thought, including in his answer early in the debate to a question about the economy.
We'd be able to wipe out his debt. We'd be able to help make sure that all those things we need to do, child care, elder care, making sure that we continue to strengthen our health care system, making sure that we're able to make every single solitary person eligible for what I've been able to do with the with the COVID, with dealing with everything we have to do with, look, if we finally beat Medicare.
Take the life of the baby in the 9th month and even after birth, because some states, Democrat run, take it after birth. Again, the former governor of Virginia, put the baby down, then we decide what to do with it. So he's willing to, as we say, rip the baby out of the womb in the 9th month and kill the baby. Nobody wants that.
The moment he started with his opening statement, President Biden sounded hoarse and quiet.
We got to take a look at what I was left when I became president, and what Mr. Trump left me. We had an economy that was in free fall. The pandemic was so badly handled. Many people were dying. All he said was, it's not that serious. Just inject a little bleach into your arm. You'll be all right.
There were times when he couldn't even finish a sentence, and he seemed unsure of what he wanted to say.
Now you're in a situation where there are 40% fewer people coming across the border illegally. That's better than when he left office. And I'm going to continue to move until we get the total ban on the total initiative relative to what we're going to do with more Border Patrol and more asylum officers.
President Trump?
I really don't know what he said at the end of that sentence. I don't think he knows what he said either.
At the White House, where people had witnessed Biden showing signs of slipping. And we used numerous specific examples, especially when they were talking about important policy discussions like the debt ceiling and the war in Ukraine. There have been numerous occasions where President Biden seemed a little unsure in public. So with all those things kind of hanging in the air, President Biden, who was full of vigor and energy, that kind of person was the person who was running for president.
The state of our union is strong and getting stronger.
We are now going to be having a much different conversation as a country heading into the Democratic convention and compete for the presidency. They still have time.
For his part, Trump was a slightly more subdued version of his usual self.
Trump was Trump.
Russian President Vladimir Putin says he'll only end this war if Russia keeps the Ukrainian territory it has already claimed and Ukraine abandons its bid to join NATO. Are Putin's terms acceptable to you?
First of all, our veterans and our soldiers can't stand this guy. They can't stand him. They think he's the worst commander-in-chief, if that's what you call him.
Trump continued his penchant for spreading falsehoods and exaggerations.
We now have the largest deficit in the history of our country under this guy. If I'm given another 4 years, I will be the best. I think I'll be the best. Nobody's ever created an economy like us. Nobody ever cut taxes like us.
And try to bend the rules and interrupt. He didn't really do that. Trump wanted Biden to talk as much as possible.
It was a disaster for our country, but other than that, we had given them back a country where the stock market actually was higher than pre-COVID, and nobody thought that was even possible. The only jobs he created are for illegal immigrants and bounce-back jobs, a bounce-back from the COVID. He has not done a good job. He's done a poor job, and inflation's killing our country. It is absolutely killing us.
We created 15,000 new jobs. We brought out the position where we have 800,000 new manufacturing jobs, but there's more to be done. There's more to be done. Working class people are still in trouble. I come from Scranton, Pennsylvania. I come of a household where the kitchen table, if the things weren't able to be met during the month, it was a problem. Price of eggs, the price of gas, the price of housing, the price of a whole range of things. That's why I'm working so hard to make sure I deal with those problems.
There have been many young women murdered by the same people he allows to come across our border. We have a border that's the most dangerous place anywhere in the world, considered the most dangerous place anywhere in the world. And he opened it up, and these killers are coming into our country. and they are raping and killing women.
We significantly increased the number of asylum officers. Significantly, by the way, the Border Patrol endorsed my position. In addition to that, we find ourselves in a situation where, when he was president, he was separating babies from their mothers, putting them in cages, making sure the families were separated.
Well, I took 2 tests, cognitive tests. I aced them, both of them, as you know. We made it public. He took none. I'd like to see him take one, just one, a real easy one. Like go through the first 5 questions. He couldn't do it.
The crimes that you are still charged with, and think of all the civil penalties you have. How many billions of dollars do you owe in civil penalties for molesting a woman in public, for doing a whole range of things, of having sex with a porn star on the night while your wife was pregnant? I mean, what are you talking about? You have the morals of an alley cat.
When he talks about a convicted felon, his son is a convicted felon at a very high level. His son is convicted, going to be convicted probably numerous other times. Should have been convicted before, but his Justice Department let the statute of limitations lapse on the most important things.